I'm Ashley. I still vividly remember that fateful day at the old gas station in Louisiana. The faded sign, Bayou Stop Gas, was swinging in the breeze, and my world was about to shatter. A young man named Ethan, with a suntan and a worn blue uniform, slipped me a note that read, "You need to get out of here right now."
He's lying to you. Don't ask.
Don't hesitate. It all started years ago. I was living in a beautiful white, roofed house in a quiet suburb of Seattle. From the outside, I seemed to have the perfect life. I was a full-time homemaker, taking care of our lovely home with a garden full of tulips. My husband, Ryan, was 42 years old and worked as a marketing director for a large tech company. He was tall, with dark, wavy hair and a charming smile that could light up a room. In the early days of our marriage, I thought I was the luckiest woman alive. Ryan was caring, ambitious, and always knew how to make me feel special. Friends would often tell me how lucky I was to have him. We fell in love after a year of dating and got married. At first, we dreamed of having a big family, but after years of trying and countless fertility treatments, our hopes gradually faded. Ryan always said he was okay with just the two of us, but I could see the longing in his eyes when he watched the neighbors' kids playing. Everything changed when my parents passed away. My father, a hard, working and kind-hearted man, had a sudden heart attack, and my mother, who was always gentle and loving, couldn't bear the loss and passed away a few months later. They left me a successful interior design firm, along with some properties and a decent amount of savings. This inheritance allowed us to upgrade our lifestyle. We moved into our current house, bought a luxury car, and started taking expensive vacations. But then I noticed Ryan changing. He became less eager to come home. Our regular family dinners were replaced by short text messages saying he was busy at work. His explanations for his late nights became repetitive and hollow. I also noticed that he was always protective of his phone, taking calls in private and whispering on the phone. Once, I heard a woman's voice on the other end when I unexpectedly walked in on him. And he stopped sharing his credit card statements with me, getting irritated when I asked about our finances. One weekend, Ryan suddenly invited me to a company party. At the party, I overheard him talking to a colleague about a project in Portland. I had never heard him mention this project before, and Portland was far from Seattle. That night, on the way home, I felt a coldness in his hand that I had never felt before. A few days later, my best friend Lily called me. She had seen Ryan in Portland with a younger brunette woman. They seemed very close. That night, I couldn't sleep. So many questions raced through my mind. Then, Ryan suggested a trip to San Francisco. The night before the trip, I couldn't resist opening his briefcase. Inside, I found a medical file from a Seattle mental health center. It had my name on it, and the preliminary assessment said I had a delusional disorder. I was in shock. On the way to San Francisco, the atmosphere in the car was heavy. Ryan was tense, constantly looking in the rear view mirror. When we stopped at the gas station, Ethan gave me that warning note. He later told me that he had seen Ryan with the brunette woman 3 weeks ago. Ryan had called her his real wife and said that this trip would take care of me, and then everything would be theirs. I knew I had to get out. I followed Ethan's advice and ran away in his old pickup. We went to the police station and I reported everything. With the help of a private investigator recommended by Lily and a skilled lawyer, we uncovered the truth. Ryan's real name was Ryan Thompson, and he had another family in Portland. He and his real wife, Emily, had been plotting to take over my assets by having me committed under a false diagnosis. In the end, Ryan was arrested for bigamy and asset fraud and sentenced to 8 years in prison. Emily was also detained as an accomplice and sentenced to 4 years. I sold the house full of false memories and moved to a small coastal town near San Diego. Here, I found peace. I joined a support group for victims of marital fraud and emotional abuse. I shared my story and helped others find the strength to move on. I also kept in touch with Ethan. His mother, Laura, invited me to dinner to thank me for trusting him. That night, I felt a warmth and kindness that I had been missing for so long. I learned that real family isn't about blood. It's about those who treat you with sincerity and love. Looking back, I realized that the pain I went through was the beginning of a new, meaningful life.